everyone, this is Sam. I really hope my first video helped you about deciding where to apply. So now that you know where to apply, you know the steps you need to take to apply. So one of those steps is to write your personal statement, and that is the hardest thing that I had to do when writing my actual application. So today I'm going to give you some tips and tricks about how I wrote my personal statements. So the number one thing is you need to answer the question that you were asked. Now, some of these questions are very specific, and those are great because they give you a lot of guidance how to answer that school's question. Some of them are vague at best. There are a couple different tricks you can use. So here is what I did. I wrote a couple personal statements, and then I recycled them. Don't know if that's something I should tell you guys or not, but this is the process that I used, and it got me into 4 or 5 schools I applied to, so I'm just going to say it's okay. So I recycled my personal statement. Some of them are some of the prompts you get are very, very similar. I had 2 that were tell us about why you want to be an attorney. I had 2 that said tell us about how your values mimic the values of our school. And typically the values of the school are pretty much the same wherever you go. There's at least one overlapping characteristic in many of them. So because of that, I had a couple different ways that I could fill in the prompt that was tell the admission board something you think they should know. So I just took my favorite personal statement and I edited it a little bit, and I did with all the schools I recycled for. I would look at the school's mission statement, their vision statement, and their motto if they had one. Then I would take some key words from those statements and plug them in to places in my personal statement. So I'm going to use South Dakota today since I ended up going to South Dakota. So South Dakota's prompt, I think, was tell me how your values match the value of the state of South Dakota. And their values are service to excellence and leadership. So I told them a story about the first time I had to advocate for something that showed them that I was a leader, that showed them that I strove for excellence in everything I did, and that I served people while striving through those things and served them as a leader. And that kind of leads into take number 2. Tell a story in your personal statement. Personal statements are very similar from person to person, and if you tell a unique story, that really helps you stand out. I was talking to a dean of a law school once, and they said that the most persuasive personal statement they ever read was about a young man who was bullying another person, and it was told from the point of view of the bully. And at the end of the personal statement, they realized that the bully was actually the applicant, and the applicant then said, like, I've since changed, but this is one of the most defining moments of my life because it showed me the power that blah, 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 blah. And he said that was an incredibly powerful personal statement because it was unique, it answered the question, and it just made him stand out. So that's my advice to you, is answer the question and tell a story that's unique to you. So with that, after you've written your personal statement, after you've tweaked them for the schools that you're using them for, after you've recycled them, you need to proofread. And that is probably the most important thing. I was told by a professor once, the more you edit, the better your writing becomes. And that is true. So proofread, 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 proofread. And just have a peer review. I sent my personal statement to my parents, to a friend who's already in law school, to a friend that just knew me in my undergraduate and had no indication of wanting to go to law school, and I gave it to one of my professors to read. And your professors are a really great resource in this because they send people to law school probably a lot more often than you realize, so they know what admission boards are looking for, and they can give you some really great feedback about to strike that or improve this, or this is great just the way you have it. So that's one thing that I will tell you to do, is use your professors to help you edit this. They will tell you if they can't, but I bet most of them will make the time for it. Okay, so if you need to proofread yourself, the best tool I can tell you to use is the immersive reader feature on Outlook. So your university email is probably Outlook, and what you do is you send an email of a document to yourself. And you click on that document, and up on the top right corner, it'll give you a bunch of different options, and one of those will be Immersive Reader. And after you click on that, it reads your document back to you exactly as is. So if you have a comma in a funky place, or if you have a run-on sentence, it'll become clear to you, because as you listen back to it, you'll realize that some things are missing. It's also really great when finding words that don't belong. So let's say you meant to type the word from and you accidentally type the word form. That's not going to show up in Word's grammar spell check, but you'll catch it with Immersive Reader because it reads your paper exactly as written back to you. So Immersive Reader is a great tool, not only for writing your personal statement, but I actually use it for all of my papers, especially now that I'm in law school, because I am terrible at grammar and I am terrible at spelling, and hearing it really helps me get back to it. So those are my tips for you today. Just kind of in summary, they are this. Answer the question you were asked. If you are recycling your personal statements, make sure that you plug in keywords found in the vision statement, the mission statement, and the school's motto. Tell a story that's unique to you. This helps you stand out because personal statements can be dull, so if you tell an interesting story, you're automatically going to become more interesting to the board. Proofread, 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 proofread. Send it to a friend, send it to your professor, send it to your parents, send it to someone who will give you good feedback. And finally, if you don't have anyone that you can send it to, and even if you do, I would do this anyway, use the Immersive Reader feature on Outlook. It's super helpful. So that's my tips to you. I hope they help. Join me for my next video when we're going to talk about where to decide to go to law school after you've been accepted. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped. If not, again, tons of resources out there. Utilize those resources. They're a great help to everyone. So with that, have a good day, take a deep breath, and keep going. You're going to be fine.